Good afternoon, good day, good weekend. This is Mark Leibovit'S from VRTrader.com, and we're looking at the Leibovit'S volume reversal on Esignal this weekend, this Easter weekend. We're going to look at Valiant VRX in just a moment and show its applicability with the volume reversal. Meanwhile, the volume reversal indicator comes in 3 versions, all available in one package on Esignal. The sequential, which posts all positive and negative VRs, which I use in these videos, the directional, which filters out repetitive VRs, and the 2-day, which is based on the premise that following a negative or positive VR, you should get follow through for 1 or 2 days in that respective direction. Meanwhile, jumping to the charts, let's look at Valiant. And I'm a little sick and tired of the stock. You hear it just about every day on CNBC. I think David Faber just loves this stock, and that's all he's been talking about. Meanwhile, it's been in a super downtrend for quite some time. And we're going to look at it into different time frames here. Let's jump into the monthly chart. You can see here how negative volume reversal, actually a key reversal, which is this green bar, was formed here back in August of last year, and that was a reversal pattern in and of itself. And then we had the Leibovit'S negative VR, the classic declining 533 stochastic, which I talk about on these videos, and you can see how the decline just really unfolded. And prior to that, there was a little trade here, back in March of 2014 for a few weeks, and then before that, when it was rising, there was a Leibovit'S positive VR, and there was some nice follow through there with a rising stochastic. So good correlation here, but good warning what is happening or what was going to happen. Meanwhile, we got to start watching for a bottoming pattern here, because now everybody seems to be out of the stock. On the weekly charts, very similar pattern here. We're looking back in just the last couple 3 months. You can see there were nice trades to the long side following a positive VR, negative VR creating a downside play. So on the weekly charts, even more as recently here as 4 or 5 weeks ago, we had a negative VR with a declining stochastic. And if we switch over to the daily charts, you can see really fine-tuning it here. Even in the last few days, there was a negative VR and some follow-through. And even though I wouldn't have played it, a positive VR here back in early March, and it did show a little bit of follow-through to the upside. Let's see if you jumped in. It closed around 65. 3 or 4 days later, it was maybe 1, 3, 4 points higher, but you did have a rising stochastic showing that there was some nice correlation in that chart. So that's important to know. So very good correlation in VRX, and just want to demonstrate that for you here, that on a short-term basis and on an intermediate basis, there is a good stock that we can be looking at for trading. And again, I like to tie in that 533 stochastic if I can as a bit of a correlation. So that's a look at Valiant. And I also want to remind you, of course, at VRTrader.com, we do have several newsletters that are available. The VR Silver, VR Platinum, our Gold Letter, our Forecaster, which is our cyclical forecast for the year. Don't forget about our Vice Letter. We've had some terrific trades in the Vice Letter here in the last several weeks. In fact, on Friday we had a terrific trade there, almost a 50% on one little low-price stock. That's the Vice Letter. Trader's Book of Volume is my definitive guide to volume trading, so I definitely want you to check that out. The volume reversal is discussed, but it's basically an encyclopedia looking at all the major volume indicators. It's been published at McGraw-Hill, and something you definitely want to check out. And finally, if you don't know about it, you should. My Wall Street Raw radio show. It's on Saturdays, 10 a.m. Eastern on the Genesis Communication Network. That's GCNlive.com. GCNlive.com, 10 a.m. Eastern on GCN Network, Genesis Communication Network. Again, thanks for checking in. The Esignal is available here, and please sign up if you haven't done so already for our VR indicator.